Kathy, and I'm back with another Flashback Friday, and this time I'm using the, I think, Hey Boy collection, and I believe that's from Pink Paisley. So I'm just showing you kind of what I had done. I had, off camera, because it took a while, fussy cut out this graphic that was printed on a piece of paper from the collection, and it was just a bunch of circles stuck together. That is the graphic right there, like it's on white paper. So right now I'm just cutting out my picture, and I actually printed my picture as a circle, which is really unusual for me. This collection is not all that old. In fact, I think you can actually still buy pieces of it online, but it was actually at least a year old or more when I bought it. And I just bought the paper, and I got that from Michael's, like on sale or something like that. It was some of the paper and some of the Hey Girl collection together. So there's no ephemera or any other pieces. I have nothing else of this collection, just the paper, which used to happen a lot. I used to find papers, but I would never find ephemera because I wasn't buying online. So this is always the trick when I have stuff like this is, well, what am I going to do with it to match it with stuff that I have? Other stuff. So I cut out some circles, like I punched some circles from a paper that I showed at the beginning. There was a paper that just had a bunch of circles. And so I punched out a couple. The one that says, hey dude, the one that says, oh boy. There's one there that says little guy, dude, man. And then that polka dot, that black polka dot, and a yellow polka dot. And now I'm just trying to find a piece to back it with. I was originally just going to do it on white, but the white that's around the circles is not the same. It's kind of a muddled white, so it doesn't really look all that good, even if it was popped up dimensionally. And I think that I'm going to go with this paper, though I'm not exactly happy with going with all the same collection. I find that too matchy-matchy, but then I find this another Pink Paisley, I'm pretty certain it's Pink Paisley paper, memorandum. Is that what it is? Guys, correct me what it is called. I can't remember because I took the pad apart and put it, I store all my papers by manufacturer. So all my Pink Paisley papers are together, but they're not together by collection. So I don't always remember the collections, and I can't remember what this one, I can't remember how to pronounce this one. And I'm too lazy right now to go look it up. Anyway, it's just a gray background with like a very small square design. So, you know, it's a great neutral, and it works really well. And I really like the branding strip that it had. So that's great because I'm going to use my favorite Chevron washi tape. That is my absolute favorite washi tape. If I ever use up a whole thing of washi tape, it's going to be this washi tape. So I'm going to put some on the top and some on the bottom just to break up the stark, like without it, this would be a really kind of barren layout, I think. So I originally had the photo up in that red circle, and then I moved it down. And I wouldn't normally put a picture so low, but the thing with me is that my person has to be facing inward. The other way, he was driving off the layout. I didn't like that. And I didn't want to flip the picture like in Photoshop because it doesn't look right. It never looks natural to flip a photo. So I didn't. So I put it on the bottom because it looked better there. So while this is popping up, I'll explain that I went into Photoshop and I took my picture and I did like a not a marquee tool, but an outline tool, and I used a circle to like delete everything around it except the actual circle. Now anyone could have easily done this on like a silhouette. Of course, I don't want to do things the easy way. So I, made this circle photo that you saw at the beginning in Photoshop, printed it out on 4x6 paper, and then just cut it out. I did not leave a white border because it didn't look very good with the white border. So the circle itself is not perfect, but it's so minimal, like you don't really notice that it's a little wonky. So that's fine with me. So I fussy cut out the rock star that was at the bottom of the paper that I originally thought I was going to use. And I outlined it with a micron pen. And now I'm just, plopping around these cork pieces that I think look really well. They work really well with this. This is just stash stuff. I have all my wood veneers and cork pieces together as stash. And I really like the idea of the arrow at the bottom. Really like how that looks. But the bicycle I felt was kind of losing its look. It was losing itself in that top chevron circle, and it was just so thin that it wasn't standing out enough. So I think I do kind of fiddle around with those, and eventually the bicycle does end up where I'm leaving it right now, and and uh, and the arrow ends up at the top. So anyway, I found these Starburst wood veneers, and I do play around with them. I end up bringing out like 5 because I like to go with odd numbers, and to kind of frame around my big graphic, my big circle graphic, and then I just end up using 3 and tucking them in. And then I have that wood veneer that says I give this 5 stars, and I end up ruining it by trying to paint the stars in, and it just spreads out. And then I try to paint the whole thing, and it doesn't work, so I get rid of it. But you'll see that later. So as you can see, I have all those starbursts because I have a ton of these. It's like, what am I going to do with them? I don't even know why I have them. I don't know where they came from. And I'm on kind of that like more is better person. So first I start with all these starbursts, and I just don't like it. So I just end up with the 3. So now I'm gluing everything down, because if I don't, I'll keep messing around with it and I'll never decide. So it's just best to get it glued down. I'm using Tombow Mono Multi, and I just bought a glue pen recently, so I'll have to give that a try. It's a Zig. I don't have one of those fine liner bottles. If I could order it and not have it be like $20 to buy one, I would. But right now that's not on my priorities to spend that much money on one. So I've got these Illustrated Faith puffy heart, enamel heart kind of things left over from a hip kit that I'm putting around. And this is watered down craft paint. So like watered down, like Americana or Craft Smart, dollar bottle Toll paints. And I really like how this looks, how doing that as an ink splatter works. It gives a nice flat black matte finish to your ink splatter. So, give it a try if you're interested. It dries really well. It doesn't smear that I've had any experience with. You may like it more of like an ink look where this is a paint look, but I'm really liking it. I think I'm gonna have to go to the store and buy some of my favorite colors. So yeah, anyway, I really like how that turned out. I can't even remember what I'm doing now on the computer because I'm always like watching stuff. So sometimes it will go to a video that I don't want to watch and I've got to go back. Anyway, I'm yawning. It's the middle of the day and I'm yawning. Anyway, I found these thickers. They're older for my stash, about 5 years old, maybe a little bit more. I know they're still kicking around like at Michael's stores and stuff. But anyway, they look like varsity letters, like something you would find on a sports team or whatever. So of course I don't use them often because we don't do any sports, but I found that they worked well, and they of course helped with my Flashback Friday theme. So I'm just going to write ride. I'm certain I must have another layout out there in the world named the same thing, but I don't care. I was going to write ride on, and I know for a fact I have another layout called ride on, but I don't like it down there. So I'm just going to call it ride, and I'm going to makeshift an exclamation mark out of a period and a comma. So I'm going to do my journaling on that yellow circle with the polka dots that you see up in the corner. Eventually, I'm going to do it where the black circle is right now. I was going to do it with white pen, but I just didn't bother. I wanted the black pen just because I've got black stamps and stuff. And I did stamp Awesome Sauce and You Rock on that little circle with the smile, and that was with Stays On ink and my 7 paper from Studio Calico roller stamp that says really cool things like awesome sauce and rad and 5 stars. And I really like it. It's kind of like a boyish one. So I really like that one. I'm going to pop that up on a thin foam too. So there's dimension to this layout, but it's not super, super dimensional. So I'm really happy with that. I'm going to use some of this scrap polka dot that was sitting around my desk that I just love. And I'm trying to use up every last piece of it. So yeah. But I'm really happy with how this layout turned out because, you know, I don't know. It's kind of old school a little, like, we seem to be going in a different direction style wise with scrapbooking. But I am, sometimes I like going back and doing stuff kind of how we almost, I guess, maybe how we used to, because I don't see a lot of people doing this kind of stuff, or we're so busy like jumping to the next awesome new collection that I think a lot of us, including me, we neglect our older stash. And it's not that the design, like, the trends have changed, but I don't see any reason to not go back and enjoy, stuff that when we bought it, we loved it. So, use it. And if you don't use it, then purge it. Donate it to a school or Boys and Girls Club or something like that. I know I'm going to be doing some of that soon. So I grabbed this chipboard. I think that's an old crepe paper, 5-6 years ago chipboard. Don't even know what it's called. But I like how I fixed my mistake. Anyway, so pictures are coming up. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye!